the influences. I'm gonna talk about the influence a couple of these guys have. Jay-Z, he talked about the jersey, the button-down shirts. He talked about gold to platinum, Moet to Cristal. Now I want you to pay close attention. This is called marketing. Okay? All these guys went out, stopped buying jerseys, or stopped wearing them, and started wearing button-down shirts like it was some big deal to wear a button-down shirt. You understand? That's why in our communities, when you go to these malls, you can't go and buy a pair of work boots. They only got sneaker stores and jerseys now. You know what I mean? Tupac, his influence, the word thug. When Tupac was out, nobody else was a thug. Nobody. When Tupac was murdered, the same people that he murdered on record became thugs. Nas. What's them two boys? Mobb Deep. They thugs. You name, hell, even Jay-Z called himself a thug. The Brat called himself a thug. You go back and listen to that song Tupac made where he basically murdered everybody on the East Coast. They're all thugs now. Influenced by him. The tattoos that he got, the big crosses on the back, tatted up. Pac was probably about the main person that did that. On stage with his shirt off, besides Jodeci. You know what I mean? The bandana around the head, like Action Mimo. And in general, living beyond your needs. Okay? This is what hip hop influences. One of the main things I like to talk about, living beyond your needs. When you turn on the video, you watch Lil Wayne in a limousine full of 50 women that you've seen on television, or if you haven't seen, you've seen in magazines, right? Or if you watch Fat Joe video with Lil Wayne, money falling out the sky, girl on a stripper pole, or if you watch Scott Storch with his Ferraris and $1 million cars with the steering wheel in the middle, living beyond your needs. And then what happens? Those 15-year-olds that they market towards, they want everything that they see. They sit in the house all day watching their lifestyle. They can't turn away from it. They don't watch the news, they watching to see how they living. But they can't figure out how to get what they got. You can't figure it out. So what they do, they say, well, we know they can't afford this Rolls Royce. You can't afford this mansion. And you sure can't afford this girl. But you can afford a T-Mobile Boost, huh? So let me get Kanye on this. Let me get So Def on this. Right? Let me get the Game on this. Push them out there. Sell my product to them kids that can't afford, you know, your mansions and your women and your cars. And now the teenagers, they walk around like a big commercial. The entire conversation is about what? What can you get me? Do you like this? You understand? The entire conversation, baggy clothes. Look at this. They went from mohawks to women to big hair overnight. Who influences that? Who influences our women to wear mohawks? Who influences our children to wear mohawks? It's not Mr. T. Huh? 24-inch necklaces, diamond bracelets, spinning rims, dumbass communications, and slang. See, if you practice speaking slang instead of speaking the Queen's language or your native tongue, then that's how you'll speak. You're not articulate. You're not sounding like a European. You're just sounding like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Imagine this. You focus on that? Imagine this. Imagine if Slim Soulja Boy had the mind of a Mos Def. Imagine that. Imagine if Young Jeezy would chose Kemet instead of the trap. Imagine that. That need to be a rap song. Imagine if Lil Wayne could grow in the direction of Common. Imagine that. Imagine if Dead Prez had the success and influence as Outkast. Imagine that. Like, what would our kids be talking about if they was like Common, if these guys was mainstream, right? If they was like Dead Prez, if they was like KRS-One or Mos Def. You think instead of talking about Superman that, instead of that, they be saying you must learn. They be talking about let's go build some houses. Huh? That's what I think they'll be talking about. They'll be talking about culture. They'll be talking about revolutionary mind states. They won't be talking about sipping on syrup, kissing a man in the mouth, selling drugs, motivation 101. This is how I got here. They won't talk about that, man. Imagine if Rick Ross had the lyrics of Rakim. How would he be? Huh? But he want to nickname himself not after a god or the culture, but a big dope boy. That's who Rick Ross want to name himself after. Yeah, Rick Ross. Just imagine. Monetary value. That's all you're talking about. Imagine if it's, instead of talking about the monetary value, they talk about the principles of Ma'at. Let me do it again. Instead of talking about monetary value, right, the houses, the cars, the rims, the necklaces, they talk about the principles of Ma'at. Truth, justice, harmony, balance, order. They talk about these things. Imagine that. Instead of talking about Scarface, imagine they talked about Noble Drew Ali. Huh? Instead of every time you went to MTV Cribs and they went and pulled out, oh, let me show you my movie, they pulled out a DVD with some brother breaking down Noble Drew Ali. They might have pulled out a Taj Tariq Bey or